Hello and welcome to the CEO at BT series. I'm Sakshi Batra. Here we bring you up close and personal conversations with the creme de la creme of India's C-suite to fetch you pertinent industry insights and personal anecdotes. Today, Business Today's managing editor Anand Adhikari is in conversation with Bipin Preet Singh, managing director, co-founder and CEO of MobiKwik. The fintech landscape in India has undergone a seismic shift over the past 1.5 decades. What began as a nascent industry focused on basic payment solutions has now evolved into a much wider ecosystem offering lending, brokerage, advisory and wealth management as well. The proliferation of smartphones and cheaper data has also led to the rise of fintechs. Have fintechs really shaken up the BFSI industry? Let's hear the fintech journey from Mr. Singh of MobiKwik, which just turned profitable in the fourth quarter of 2023 financial year.
Thank you, Bipin, for giving us time. Let's start with your assessment of the fintech industry in the last 10-12 years. Give us your report card.
Thank you. Thanks, Anand, firstly for having me here on BT. And fintech is a very exciting industry. You would think that after spending 14 years in fintech, I am actually more excited about fintech today than when I was started the company. And the reason for that is this industry has expanded in such a significant scale because of the events that have happened in the last decade or so. Primarily because there are macro trends around. Firstly, when we started, there were no smartphones. Then data was expensive. Then Jio came in and data became cheaper. And then we didn't have identity stack or India stack. Then India stack came in, which made KYC very, very simple, using Aadhaar, PAN. Every record became digital. Now we have things like account aggregator. So over the last 10 years, I think as a country, we've made huge progress in terms of digitizing the entire financial system. And companies like us, MobiKwik, we have benefited a lot from it.
Okay. What about the lending and the value-added services? Your take on these fintechs?
Absolutely. I think we started firstly with payments. And that was a problem to be solved at that time because digital payments used to be very difficult using card, entering different kind of card numbers, etc. Used to take a lot of time. Now, you just press a button on your smartphone and you scan a QR code and, you send the money. And we've played a significant role in doing that. But what we realized is one of the problems in this country is that people may have bank accounts, but they don't have access to banking. They don't necessarily have access to high quality credit product. They don't have access to high quality investment or saving product. So MobiKwik today is envisioning to become a digital banking platform where not only payments, but also credit and also how to save money. And those are the problems we want to solve for the next 500 million people in this country.
Right. Now, if I look at the payments, part today, the top 3 players are non-bank. Paytm, PhonePe, Google Pay, and the kind of disruption we have seen on the payment side, and partly also because of UPI, which in a way the system was built by the government. Tell us the payment side. What's exactly happening on the payments?
So I think in the payment side, clearly one trend is that the non-card payments have taken over the card payments. In most countries, card payments are the predominant form of digital payments.
Right.
In India, mobile payments, which is smartphone-based payments, is the predominant form of digital payments.
Right.
And that is a big disruption for a country like India. And it's actually good because, card has a physical cost to it, has a distribution cost to it, needs to be replaced, has a maintenance cost to it. Whereas smartphone is something that everybody has. Like right now, 500-600 million people in India have access to smartphones. And of course, smartphone is smarter. So it's able to do things which a pure plastic card can't do. So from that point of view, I think what has happened in India is we've made payments available at the fingertips of hundreds of millions of people. But still, there are only 250-300 million people who have access to it. So, abhi iske aage we still have to do a lot. We have to, like I said, get to digital banking. We have to get to digital credit. And MobiKwik is taking the steps towards it. We have created multiple products in digital credit where we have given credit already to more than 5 million people using Pay Later and personal loan. We are on our journey to create new investment products which masses want in order to save money and get returns on their investment.
So you talked about the credit part, and the other thing which we have seen is that payments is becoming the acquisition channel, and on the top of it, companies are building a lending and the investment kind of a model. So is this the new model which is emerging for payment companies?
I think it is pretty much the model now.
Okay.
I would say payments, getting the scale in payments like what we have 140 million users, more than 30 million people active, is not easy. But once you get the scale in payments, you have a very captive customer base.
Right.
People who come on your app to do different kind of payments, whether they pay their bills, shop online, do money transfer, any kind of transaction. So that creates a lot of data that you can understand, invest in terms of AI or data science, and then build products on top of it.
But payments alone won't make money?
Payments alone can be break even, can make some money, but it in itself cannot be hugely profitable.
So immediate next product is the lending. I mean, if I to understand that a payment company, the immediate, is it because it's very high in business?
I would say I see a very natural fit between payments and credit products like Pay Later, small ticket credit products.
Right.
Because they are also payments. So your credit card, is it a payment product or a credit product?
Yeah, right.
It is both. So, but credit card is available only to 40-50 million people. 4-5 crore लोगों के पास.
Right.
So what we are doing with Pay Later, with MobiKwik Zip, is making Pay Later facility similar to credit card available to these 500 million people who don't have a credit card, and they use it as a payment product.
Right.
They use it to buy grocery. They use it to pay their bills.
Right.
They use it to pay anybody they want, and they get a 30-day period in order to repay.
Okay.
अब वो है तो use payment के लिए हो रहा है.
Exactly.
But it's actually a credit product.
What about the investment part? I mean, is it possible to sell a investment product to a customer who has come to your platform from the payment side?
Absolutely, I think this is a myth, right? Maybe you and I, we are financially savvy. We talk to wealth advisors, how to invest our money, where to get better returns, how much to put in equity, how much to put in mutual fund, how much to put in fixed income. But do the masses in India know that? The answer is no. Do they have the desire to do that? The answer is yes. Of course, they don't have that much amount of money. Their savings are not much. But so first is creating financial literacy.
Right.
That you need to save money. Second is you need to generate returns on that money. Third is not everybody will be comfortable investing in equity and mutual funds because it's volatile. Right? So somebody who's saving or just started saving, he will suddenly get very uncomfortable if the market goes down.
Right.
So we are creating a platform where we can actually help people understand what their money is and how to save it. So one of the products that we just announced here is called MobiKwik Lens. Now MobiKwik Lens is built on account aggregator.
Okay.
With MobiKwik Lens on MobiKwik app, you can connect all your bank accounts
Right.
and you can generate unique insights personalized to you in terms of how much money you are saving, how much you are investing, how much you are spending, how much your bank is charging you. When are your SIPs due? When are your EMIs due? Do not miss your SIPs. Do not miss your EMIs. Do not pay penalties.
Right.
So basically educating people about the story in their bank account. And I think that is the first step for anybody to start offering any kind of saving or investment products. First, understand what's happening in your bank account.
Right. Like, you talked about the account aggregator part, and in your initial remark, you talked about the big opportunity going forward. Now, this AA concept or the framework which we are seeing, will it help banks or will it help Fintech?
I think the whole ecosystem of Fintech is modeled on partnerships.
Right.
I don't think it is a zero-sum game that banks will lose something and we will gain something, or we will lose something, they will gain. It is an ecosystem. In this ecosystem, if you provide products which are good for the customer at a cheaper cost and they like it, then everybody will benefit. And so in account aggregator, for example, I mean, people have had access to bank statements for so many years, digital but does it make sense what the bank is telling you? The answer is mostly no, right? What is the purpose of account aggregator? Is to democratize access.
Exactly.
If you democratize access, then people can use their data to build better financial products at a cheaper cost for masses. And that is something that MobiKwik is doing. इसमें banks का भी benefit
But then
है.
banks have the advantage of low cost funds. So,
Of course, I think as MobiKwik, we don't do lending. We partner with banks.
Right.
We partner with NBFCs. Whoever wants to lend to this customer, I have understood this customer, how much their income is, how much their saving is, what is their spending pattern.
Right.
I have a score that I have created using my own AI and data science. Now I ask lenders, do you want to lend to him?
right.
Tell us
Exactly.
what terms you want to lend.
Right.
So we are actually opening up the market for the banks and NBFCs.
Right. Now coming to the lending, fintechs, and we have seen many fintechs, with a very monoline kind of a model, where they are doing only, like, let's say, BNPL, or let's say, SME kind of a lending, or giving very small, ticket size, model. What do you think? I mean, will such a model sustainable? Like in your case, is payments, is lending via partnership, and there are other investment products. Very well diversified. What future do you, or what one, let's say last 10-12 years, the kind of how they have evolved, let's say, and going forward also, will such a model works? Focusing on single.
If you look at history, right? If you look at banks, fintechs to recent phenomenon, but used to be all banks. What do you see in terms of what products they do? They do deposits, they do secured lending, they do home loans, gold loans, unsecured loan, credit card, corporate loans, retail loans. Why do you think they do all of these products? The reason is diversification. Risk diversification, product diversification. Because in finance, my firm belief is, if you do not diversify, then you do not become a sustainable organization in the long term. Because different people will have different requirements at different points of time. किसी को loan चाहिए, किसी को investment में product चाहिए, किसी को advisory चाहिए, किसी को like payments का ही product चाहिए. So the idea is, if you build these different products, then you can withstand cycles. अगर कोई credit cycle happens, or stock market goes down, or something else happens, then your other businesses, which will still hold you in good stead. Which is why if you see the regulator doesn't want any bank to have only one kind of product. They want them to have same philosophy, needs to be followed at least by large fintechs. But smaller fintechs, for example, can partner with the larger fintechs who have the distribution, and so that the larger fintechs don't have to build all of these products themselves. We also believe in it. We partner with whoever is, if for example somebody is doing SME lending, I don't need to understand and get into the depth of understanding SME lending. I can partner with them because I have a merchant base which is more than 3 CR, 30 million. I can bring their product to these merchants.
Right. Now, in terms of profitability, let's see the next decade. Do you see fintech now, we'll see some good numbers from the fintech side going forward?
Absolutely. So I believe that, if you are a fintech and if you are dealing with people's money, then you need to follow
have covered 10-12 years also.
Yes.
Many companies.
Yes, I know. So you have to be also sustainable yourself.
Right.
Your own trust and credibility
Right.
as an organization and entity depends on not how much you burn, because there was a time for burn for growth, right? When the market was growing, it's still growing. But now I think people have achieved scale, companies have achieved scale. Clear focus has to be on sustainability, even from a regulatory point of view. Regulator wants, because fintechs have become big, to be profitable and sustainable.
Right.
So MobiKwik has become profitable, one of the first fintechs to become profitable consistently over the last 2 quarters. And we hope to keep this track record, because there is no other way to build a fintech business.
Right. Another thing, we had a couple of fintech listing in the market, and we have seen some value correction there. So how do you see the public market and the private market? I mean, are valuation correcting even in the private market?
I think I am not obsessed about valuation. I think valuations work in cycles. They are never exact. When there is a bull cycle, they are too high.
Right.
When there are bear cycles, they are too low.
Right.
They're never the right number, right? And so therefore, there is no point in thinking about what the market thinks your valuation is.
Right.
It's better to just keep building.
Right.
Keep building value for the customers. If you're building value for the customers, eventually your valuation will take care of itself.
Right. One final question is on your hobby. I heard that you play football. You get time to go out and...
So one of the late realizations for
Okay.
me before I turned 40
Oh,
was that if I want to build this to be a very sustainable company, next 20, 30, maybe 100 years, build it an institution. For that, I have to be fit, right? My health has to be strong. Otherwise, how will I guide the company?
right.
So I have invested in playing sports like football, and I play with people who are half my age, right? Even people within MobiKwik.
Oh, okay.
And I encourage them to tackle with me when they're playing,
Okay.
so that I can keep up with these young guns,
Right.
and I can then take MobiKwik to the next level.
And if I have to ask you, to create a, let's say, Fintech 11, which will compete with the banks in the next decade, I'm sure MobiKwik will be there. Which will be the other 10 companies?
Very hard for me to say.
Let's say payment, lending. Let's pick up some
I think I would see most of the large platforms will be there, whether it is payments or lending. Whoever gets some scale earlier, they have to figure out, of course, their risk management and sustainability and profit. But very often you will find that if you don't focus on that, you may fall out. You may today be in the 11,
Right.
but you can potentially fall out.
Yeah, right.
So I wouldn't name anybody, but I think there is a long list of companies which will qualify.
Okay. So thanks a lot, Bipin, for giving us time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.